In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to memorize every major and minor piano chord forever. Chords are one of the most common musical patterns that you're going to come across in any piece, in any genre of music. And there are 24 of these chords, which sounds like a lot, but don't worry, you're not going to have to memorize every single one of them individually. I'm going to show you exactly how to memorize these chords in 2 simple steps. And then at the end of the tutorial, I'm going to show you my favorite ways to practice these chords and to really take these 2 steps and get them into the deeper layers of your memory so that you truly remember these major and minor chords forever. Welcome to Ashley Young Music Studio, where you are going to learn how to practice smarter, not harder. Let's dive in. So we're going to go about this in 2 steps. And the first step is to memorize all of the major chords, but I'm going to give you some really easy ways to do that. But before we do that, I'm going to show you how to find all of the major chords. Now it's really, really easy and you can do this with any note on the piano. So let's say that I want to figure out what a C major chord is. I'm going to start with my root, which is the bottom note of the chord, which is C. That's where it gets its name. And I'm going to go up 4 half steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 3 half steps, 1, 2, 3. And a half step is really just the distance between one key to the very next key with nothing in between. So I can use that formula to find any major chord. Let's do it again. Let's go to E. So let's find an E major chord. So we're going to go up 4 half steps. So we start with our root, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3. That's an E major chord. And I can do that anywhere on the piano. So as we're going through this tutorial, if you don't know what the notes of these major chords are, you can use this formula to find them anytime. So pause the video, find the major chords, and then you can go forward. Okay, so now that you know how to build all of the major chords, we are going to split them up into 4 groups. And each group is going to have 3 chords in it. And doing this is going to help us recognize the patterns of these chords. So the first group of chords is going to be chords that use all white keys. And the chords in this group are C major. You can see that I'm playing all white keys, F major, all white keys, and G major, all white keys. Now, when I play these chords, I don't just want to think to myself all white keys and memorize them that way. That's one way that I can remember them. But I also want to play them and really focus on the shape of how the chords feel in my hand. How does it feel to play the chord? How does it sound to play the chord? What does it look like on the keyboard? Now, when you are practicing these chords, I'm going to recommend that you use fingers number 1, 3, and 5 for every single major and minor chord that you play on the piano. That's a great base fingering. And for the most part, when you see major and minor chords, those are the fingers that you're going to use. Unless you're in a complex piece of music, of course, then it might change. But when you're just practicing chords, you're going to use 1, 3, and 5 on all of them, even if it feels a little bit awkward. So group 1 is all white keys, C, F, and G. Okay, not too bad, right? Now, the next group, the second group, is going to be chords that follow a pattern of a white key on the bottom, a black key in the middle, and a white key on the top. So we're going to call this one white, black, white. Okay, white, black, white. And the chords in this group, group number 2, are D major, E major, and A major. And you can see that they all follow that pattern of white key, black key, white key. Now these ones feel quite different because that middle note is a black key, and so my 3rd finger has to stretch out a lot farther to reach that note. Now notice that I'm still playing on the edge of the keys when I practice these chords, and I'm still using fingers number 1, 3, and 5. Okay, the 3rd group is chords that follow the pattern black key, white key, black key. And these ones are D flat, E flat, and A flat. So these ones are all chords that have a black key on the bottom, a white key in the middle, and a black key on the top. So D flat, E flat, A flat. Now, oftentimes people think that this one is really complicated because there are flats in the names and we have a lot of black keys here. There's black keys on the outside. But I want to point out that in group number 2, where we talked about white keys, black keys, white keys, it's D, E, A. And then in group number 3, where it's the exact opposite, it's D flat, E flat, A flat. So it's the same chords, D, E, A, just the flat versions, D flat, E flat, A flat, okay? And I love that. I love that because D, E, and A are all white keys on the outside and black keys in the middle. And when you go to group number 3, it's exactly the opposite, but the letter names of the chords are still the same. So now we have white keys in the middle, black keys on the outside, but it's still D, E, and A. It's just E flat, and A flat. Okay? Now, group number 4. These ones are what I like to call random, okay? Random shapes, or sometimes they feel a little bit weird, they feel a little bit awkward. They're kind of the outliers. And so you can call them random, you can call them the outliers, whatever you want to call them, but these ones are all a little bit unique. So in this group, we have G flat major, or sometimes it's called F sharp major as well. And this one is all black keys, right? So it's an outlier because it's on all black keys. And then we have B flat major, which is a black key on the bottom, and then 2 white keys on the top. And then we have B major, which is exactly the opposite of that. A white key on the bottom and 2 black keys on the top. Okay, so the outliers or the random shapes are G flat major, which is also called F sharp major, B flat major, and then B major, which is also sometimes called C flat major. So there you have all of the major chords. Now let's go ahead and switch these to minors, but don't worry, this is going to be the easiest part. But first, if you are getting value out of this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, comment below, let me know what you like about it, subscribe to the channel because I release new content every single day, and copy the link and share it with a friend or with a group of adult piano players that you know would benefit from learning how to memorize the major and minor chords this way as well. If you haven't already reserved your free seat for Piano Practice Lab, do that now. This is 4 free days of piano classes in Zoom with me, where you will learn to design a weekly practice routine that accelerates your trajectory to confident musical expression. It's an event like no other, and it is jam-packed with helpful information just for you. The link will be in the description. Make sure you reserve your free seat. Even if you can't make the live times, you will get replays emailed to you with your registration, so there's no harm in registering. So this is the second step in our 2-step process, and I love this part because it's just way easier. So once you have all of the major chords memorized in the 4 different groups, now all we have to do is change them into minors. So let's look at the first group where we had the all white keys of C, C major, F major, and G major. All we're gonna do is we're gonna take the middle note of each chord and we're gonna go down a half step. So down to the very next key, regardless of if it's black or white. So C major, and then I'm gonna lower that middle note, C minor. Now F major, I'm gonna lower the middle note, F minor. G major, and I'm going to lower the middle note, G minor. Let's do some more complicated ones. So if we look at the third group, the chords that were grouped in black keys, white keys, black keys, we have D flat major, E flat major, and A flat major. So D flat major, I'm gonna take that middle note, which is a white key. I'm gonna go down 1 half step. Now notice it's still a white key, but that doesn't matter. It's still a half step because it's the very next key. So D flat major, lower it, D flat minor. If we look at E flat major, lower it, E flat minor. Now A flat major, lower it, A flat minor. On June 11th, Casual to Confident Piano Player opens for enrollment. And this is very exciting for a couple of reasons. 1, this program only opens a couple of times a year. But 2, this is actually going to be the very last time that I ever offer a year of access to the live classes with me. That component of the program will be changing after this year. So if you've been around for a while and you know about this program and you've been wanting to join, this is literally your last chance to join it in its current format. If you're just hearing about it, you're definitely gonna wanna check it out. Casual to Confident is where members transform the way they practice and transform the way they sound. It is a highly effective, proven program to help you master any piece with confidence at the piano.
I'm finally learning how to play the piano versus just hitting notes.
I can actually get through a piece.
Triplets. I've never played triplets in my life. 3 months, I could do something I had accepted I would never do.
I remember when I was thinking about joining and I'm like, well, I've been playing the piano for a long time. Is this the place for me? And she's like, yeah, it is. She's right. Like, it's the same for no matter what level you're at.
I will link that in the description as well so that you can get on the wait list and learn more about that program so that you can be ready when enrollment opens on June 11th. You've seen the 2 steps, but the best way to get these chords into your memory is not just to go through these 2 steps and assume that you're going to remember them. It's to actually play these chords on the piano. And so I like to do this by group. So let's take the group that was the black keys on the outside and the white keys in the middle. So D flat, E flat, and A flat. And I'm going to give you a few suggestions here of how you can practice these, okay? So you can play these chords focusing on how it feels. You can play these chords saying the notes out loud. So D flat, F, A flat. Okay, that's my D flat major chord. E flat, G, B flat. Okay, that's my E flat major chord. Okay, that's one way that you can do that over and over again until you really start to internalize the notes. Then you can jump around. So let's find all of the D flat major chords on the piano and make yourself remember what those notes are and make yourself see where it is on the piano in any range geographically, okay? And then I can do that with the E flat major chord as well. And then the A flat major, and then I can do it as a whole entire group. So D flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, E flat, A flat. And my goal here is to get these into my muscle memory, into the deeper layers of my memory, and to really help myself hear and feel these chords on the piano. Because it's one thing to have the information in your brain, right? But it's another thing to actually connect that information to what you're doing on the piano. And memorizing your chords is a big deal. If you can do that, that's great. But memorizing them in the context of how they sound and how they feel on the piano is going to help you even more. Now, you're not just going to do this with this one group, of course. Start with one group, make it your goal for a practice session or for an entire practice week to memorize one group, and then move on to the next group. And within a month or so, you're going to know all of your major and minor chords. So you can take this exercise and go forth and memorize your major and minor chords. It's going to help you out a lot. That other tutorial where I talk about the 3 most common chord mistakes that all piano players make, you can grab them both right here. Happy practicing.